So, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the standard modeling approach for solving any kind of 2D electrostatics, okay, involving short channel devices. Okay. So, in this lecture, we are going to emphasize specifically for the DG MOSFETs. There's a double gate MOSFET, which is, as we have discussed in our previous lecture, forms the fundamental part of your FinFET. So let me just write that here. So this is kind of the part of the FinFET modeling. Of course, I'm not going to go into much details about the FinFET modeling for this course, but you should know how to deal with the 2D electrostatics. Okay. So since this is a new topic and you won't find it elsewhere, okay. So what I have done is I will do it impromptu. So I'll do it right in front of your eyes so that you understand better. So the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that this is your device. All right. So let us take the typical. I mean, we are not kind of considering any of those practical issues of misalignment or anything. Let us just consider this scenario. This is a typical double gate MOSFET. Okay. This is the source N plus. This is the drain N plus. Okay. And then here is the oxide. So the oxide thickness here is TOX. Okay. The effective channel length is here. Then let us assume that the source is grounded and the drain is connected to plus VDS. And how about the gate terminals? It is a symmetric double gate MOSFET situation. So we will be applying the same voltage on the top gate as well as on the bottom gate. Okay. This is the metal. This is also the metal. So these are the top and bottom gates. All right. Here is the other terminal here. Fine. Is the situation clear to everybody? So this thickness is also, as usual, TOX. Okay. So we are going to model this scenario. So first of all, whenever we are speaking about double gate MOSFET or FinFET, we will assume that this device is very, very small. So that means the channel length is in the order of nanometers, 45 nanometer, 15 nanometer, and things like that. So if it is very, very small, so we have to always keep in mind that we have to solve it the 2D Poisson's equation, not the 1D Poisson equation. Okay, so let us begin by understanding one thing, that since this is a symmetric double gate MOSFET, so symmetric, okay. So keep in mind that keeping it like we are solving it for symmetric double gate, so it makes things easier because the gate potentials are the same and the whole scenario is very, very much simpler. Okay, so as usual, as we have done in case of the standard MOSFET modeling, I will put this as y direction in nanometers. And this is x nanometer. Okay. So first of all, notice that the potential, so the if I write it here, potential, I'm not speaking about surface potential here. The potential phi is now a function of x and y both. Remember, when we dealt with the conventional MOSFET situation, what did we see? We saw that using the charge sheet approximation, remember the charge sheet approximation, right? So we saw that delta Fy del y was much larger than delta Fx del x for long channel MOSFET. Okay, we saw that previously. You can go back to the lectures. This implies that phi xy was almost equal to phi of x. The y variation was, sorry, I'm so sorry. Phi xy was almost equal to phi y. Most of the variation was coming because of the y direction. So this is something we saw earlier, so we will not get into that. All right. So now it is a function of both x and y. So the approach which we are going to learn today now in this lecture is that how to tackle 2D electrostatics. Of course, there are multiple ways of tackling this. This is the one which I follow in my research, in my own research. So I mean, there are other methods also. So the first thing is that since this is a symmetric double gate, so since it is symmetric, since it is symmetric double gate structure, so the first thing is that the top and bottom electrode, the top and bottom surface, both of them will be exactly symmetrical, essentially meaning that phi 0 of y, sorry, phi x comma 0, that means when y is equal to 0, as you can notice, y equal to 0 is the top gate, will be equal to phi x comma tsi. Okay, so here is your silicon SOI thickness. Remember, this is the SOI region. Do not forget. This is the SOI. So where is the silicon on insulator? Where is the insulator we are talking about? Either this is the insulator or this is the insulator. So this is symmetrical double gate. So essentially, it implies that this silicon on insulator is floating in between. It is sandwiched between two oxide layers. Got it? Okay. So the one is 0. The other one will be TSI. Now, both of them will be equal to the surface potential phi s, which is a function of x alone. Make sense? So now, oh, with this, let us assume that the phi xy is an series, infinite power series. So please keep in mind that this is one of the fundamental properties of mathematical functions, that any function, okay, can be represented as an infinite sinusoidal series. What is that series called? Hello?
Fourier series.
Fourier series. Excellent. So that means you can represent any periodic function in the world, any periodic function. So if it is a periodic function, you can represent it definitely as an infinite series of sinusoidal terms. So that is Fourier series. But that is for any periodic function. Okay. So if you have a function like this, but after some time, this is a complicated function, but it is periodic. So definitely you can represent this function as a sinusoid. So as long as it is periodic, okay, you are always going to have a Fourier series for this. Okay. Similarly, if you are having any function um, which is aperiodic, which is not periodic at all, that can be represented as an infinite power series. So we can write here f x comma y is equal to summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity nx y to the power of n. Okay. So now if we are putting this equation over here, what do we get? Therefore, phi x comma 0. So if you notice n equal to 0 is a0, there is no y term. So a0 will be equal to, okay, the other terms will be a0, that other one will be a1 y to the power of 1, that is a1 y plus a2 y square plus a3 y cube, y cube and so on. But if we are putting x y is equal to 0, all the y terms will vanish. In the other, on the right hand side, we will be having n equal to 0 to infinity. What is this? A n x. What is instead of y? We will have TSI to the power of n. Okay. So here also let us put a0x. Now this whole thing is equal to the surface potential phi s, which is a function of x again. Okay. So this one let us put as equation number 1. Okay. Now if we take the first two uh, equations, okay, first two sides of this equation, you are left with a0 is equal to, what is the first term over here? N is equal to 0, this a0, TSI to the power of 0, that means 1, plus summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity rest of the terms. Make sense? So clearly this a0 and a0 will cancel. What will be the remaining term? 0 is equal to, notice this is a1 TSI plus a2 TSI square. So TSI is common in all these terms. So I can put TSI outside and I'll put n is equal to 1 to infinity an TSI to the power n minus 1. Okay. Now if you understand that TSI is not equal to 0, obviously this you can cancel. This will put it as equation number 2. Okay, everyone? All right. So we will be using these equations later. So that's the reason why I'm putting this 1 and 2 here. All right. So now please understand this carefully because this is the basis on which all the FinFET modeling is done. Okay. Even our gate overlap tunnel FET modeling is also based on this. Okay. So now let us look at the two surfaces, the front top surface here and the bottom surface there. Okay. On the front surface, we are going to have uh, this divergence equation, that is the Poisson equation. Okay, so this, or or let us say simply, let us say we will take the case of not Poisson's equation as of now. We will rather consider the field over here. What is the direction of the field? Remember, you have added one plus VGS here, plus VGS there, isn't it? So the field is direction is in the direction of y. Okay, so the Fy field, I'm not considering the um, direction, okay, only the magnitude will be equal to, inside the silicon layer, what is the expression? Epsilon Si minus d phi dy at y is equal to 0. Remember, I'm speaking about the top surface, so it is y equal to 0 here. And how about the oxide? What is the field over here? Because you know, we are speaking about the continuity of the electric flux on this surface. Okay, so will be equal to epsilon Ox, because this is the oxide layer here. Okay, what is the voltage on the top? VGS minus VFB minus the surface potential uh, um, of the silicon surface. So that is phi s. Remember this phi s. Okay, phi s x. Let us say. Now, this is the voltage difference divided by the oxide thickness, right? TOX. Okay. So this gives us del phi del y. Where is the phi term here? Phi term is here, right? So what is del phi del y? Okay, let me just write it another step here. Del phi del y at y is equal to 0 is equal to epsilon OX by epsilon SI TOX VFB plus phi S minus VGS. Okay, what is this equal to? If your phi xy is this, okay, then del phi del y will be equal to, notice that del phi del y is equal to, ये n सामने आ जाएगा, right? n summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n x y to the power of n minus 1. But note that the first term over here was a0, which was independent of y. a0 plus a1y plus a2. So a0 term is independent of y. So if you are making a derivative, that a0 term will cancel. Okay, so we will be left with from 1 to infinity. Okay, so this is what I shall put here. So this will be equal to, or rather I'll put del phi del y at y equal to 0 will be equal to how much? When n is equal to 1, a1, this is n is 1, a1 y to the power of 0. ठीक है? So the it is independent of the y term and the rest of the terms are all cancelled out because of y equal to 0. So you are left with only a1. Okay, ठीक है? So this is equal to a0. So let me just put circles here. Uh, okay, not necessary because this will just be, I mean, we will require this later anyway. So this is A1. So once we have got this, we will again try to find out the electric field on the bottom gate. So this is what? This is the vertical field on front gate. Now we will do the same vertical field on front गेट नहीं फ्रंट सरफेस लिखते हैं दिस इज बॉटम सरफेस but notice what is very important for us is that you are anyway applying a plus vg over here. Remember, this is a symmetric double gate, so the same potential has to be applied on the top and the bottom gates. So if it is plus vg here, automatically the field will be in the reverse direction, right? So fy is equal to, so I'll put here by definition actually, epsilon si minus del phi del y at y is equal to tsi will be equal to epsilon ox. But now what is the direction? From the bottom upwards. So VGS, it will become, um, uh, if I'm going by the same direction, it will essentially become epsilon, so simply phi S plus VFB mm, minus VGS by T. Ox. So finally, what do we get? Del phi del y at y is equal to TSI. There is a negative, so it will essentially change its sign here. Minus VFB minus phi s will be equal to, so the same thing here, but we will be getting it for y equal to TSI. That means the silicon thin film silicon thickness. So this is n is equal to 0, um, n a n TSI to the power n minus 1. N is equal to 1 to infinity. Okay, so I'll just put that here. Fine. So what is interesting is, l- look at number 3 and look at number, let us say, 4. What we understand is, in on the left hand side of 3 is VFB plus phi s minus VGS. The left hand side of 4 is the same except the symbol, okay, negative sign. Therefore, using 3, we obtain, using 3 in 4. What is this number 4? Minus A1 is equal to, देखो ये जो टर्म है, this one and this one, they are differing only in this negative sign. Please understand this. So all I'm doing is I'm replacing the left hand side with a minus A1. Okay, is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity n a n tsi to the power n minus 1. What does it imply? Minus A1 is equal to, इसको थोड़ा expand करते हैं, ठीक है? So n is equal to 1 means 1 A1 tsi to the power of 1 minus 1, that is 0, plus, what is the next term? N equal to 2. So 2 A2 tsi, 2 minus 1, that is 1, plus, what is the next one? N equal to 3. So 3 A3 tsi, 3 minus 1, that is 2, plus summation of n is equal to 4 to infinity n a n tsi to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so what is the advantage of writing like this? I will simply put minus a1 on the right hand side. I'll take this minus a1 to the to the right hand side, so it becomes 0 is equal to 2 a1 plus 2 a2, ठीक है, plus 3 a3 tsi square plus summation n is equal to 4 to infinity. Okay, so now what we will do is some interesting thing we will do. What we will do is, let us add um, n is equal to 3 to infinity a n tsi to the power n minus 1 on the left hand side, and on the right hand side also we will add 2 a1 plus 2 a2 plus summation n is equal to 3 to infinity an tsi n minus 1 with a 2 here plus the remaining things as usual.
So 2A2 into TSI.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. tsi square plus the remaining. I have essentially added the same term here and here. So left hand side and right hand side, we have added the same term. What is the advantage? Notice that on the right hand side, this is equal to how much? This is basically 2 into, I can put this whole thing as summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity an tsi to the power of n minus 1. Just check. When n is equal to 1, it will become a1 and tsi a1 minus 1 is 0. So 2 is a1. That's the first term. When it is n equal to 2, it becomes 2a2 tsi. That's this one. Correct? So we are left with 3 to infinity an tsi to the power of n minus 1 is equal to summation n is equal to 1. Sorry, there will be 2 here. Infinity an tsi plus, what can we write these two? We can write here summation n is equal to 3 to infinity n an tsi to the power of n minus 1. So if we put n equal to 3, it becomes 3, n equal to 3 here, so 3a3. This is tsi, 3 minus 1, that is 2. Okay, so these two becomes this. So I shall write that. Now comes the magic. In equation number 2, what did we get? N equal to 1 to infinity an tsi to the power n minus 1 is 0. N is equal to 1 to infinity an tsi to the power of n minus 1 is equal to 0. Just check. Let me just copy this. It will be easier. Okay, you can remove this. N is equal to 0, 1 to infinity an tsi to the power of n minus 1 is equal to 0. Got it? So if this is equal to 0, then we can simply cut this out. Okay, therefore 0 is equal to, now notice what do we get here? This is summation of n equal to 1, 3 to infinity. This is also summation n equal to 3 to infinity. Here it is n and here it is 2. Other than that, all the terms are the same. A and tsi to the power n minus 1. So we can write summation n is equal to 3 to infinity n minus 2 an tsi to the power of n minus 1. What does it imply finally? It implies that, notice, for n equal to 3 to infinity, n minus 2 is never equal to 0. Correct? Because n is always greater than or equal to 3. है ना? So n का value क्या है? Either 3 or more. So this is n minus 2 is always going to be 1 or more. Correct? So this is not equal to 0. TSI to the power of n minus 1. So that means TSI varies from TSI square and higher orders. And TSI is never 0, because if TSI is 0, That means the silicon thickness is 0, which is impossible. Therefore, an greater than or equal to 3 has to be 0. Got it? Therefore, what does it mean? Therefore, the electrostatic potential function जो हमने यहाँ पर लिए थे ना, mathematically we have proven that phi xy is equal to, using the electrostatics we have understood that n equal to 0 to infinity जो है ना, we can again write the same thing. N is equal to 0 to infinity, that is a generalized term, but always remember that a n greater than or equal to 3 is always 0. So that means what is this value? A0 function of x plus n equal to 1, that is a1x y plus a2x y square plus कुछ नहीं, because it becomes a3 and above. All the a3, a4, a5, a6 starting from a3 and all the higher coefficients of a will all be zeros. That is what we have proven here. Got it? So this is the expression for the potential function. So that's a parabolic expression. What does it imply? What does it mean? That inside the SOI region, the potential profile will be a parabolic one. So in the previous case, in case of the MOSFET, MOS capacitor, we have seen it would be going like this and becomes flat, right? Huh? In case of 2, 2D is like SOI, like DG MOSFET case, what it will happen is you'll be having another surface I mean surface over here. It will go up and come down. What is the equation? Parabola. Okay. So energy band diagram. Okay. So that will also be somewhat like this. So this is the equation of a parabola. Now, if we want to, so we, with all these calculations, we have essentially established that the potential profile inside a DG, double gate MOSFET, FinFET, or even GOTFET, gate overlap tunnel FET. GOTFET is also a DG structure, so it can also be used as a FinFET. That is the part of the research which we are going to do in our research group. So the students who have joined with me in the next semester, we will be going deeper into this. So this is just the beginning. And in this beginning modeling part of the FinFETs, I'm doing it for all the students of PMMD so that you have the basic idea how it goes. For those who are joining with me in our research group, this modeling part, I will explain further details with them, but you don't have to bother about the modeling in your SAT, but I will guide you along. So we have understood that in case of a FinFET or DG, we are going to have a parabolic potential profile along the vertical direction. All right. So what are the values of A0, A1 and A2? A0 is already obtained in equation 1. I'll put it like this. Equation 1 gives us A0x is nothing but the surface potential phi is x. Okay. What is A1? Uh, no, this is not. No. Where is A1? 3. Okay. A1 is given by this. Okay. Now we have to find out this value of A2. We have not figured out A2 as of yet. Okay. So what we shall do now is, let us see this. Let us go by equation number 2. Where is equation 2? This one, right? Equation 2 states this relation here, n equal to 1 to infinity a n tsi n minus 1 is equal to 0. Since we know that a n greater than or equal to 3 is, I mean, always going to be 0, this one, this factor. So what we will do is, let us put it just 2. Okay. So this implies a1 tsi, no, a1 is just a1, right? Huh. Plus a2 tsi will be equal to 0. Therefore, a2 is equal to minus a1 by tsi. a1 का वैल्यू हमें पता है, right? So it is going to be epsilon ox, epsilon si, tsi, tox with a sign change here. So it becomes simply vgs minus vfb minus phi s bracket close. Okay. Therefore, what is the expression for the potential here? Phi of x comma y is equal to a0, which is phi s, that is the surface potential phi s x. Remember, in these expressions, which is the only function of x? This phi s. Okay, so let me just write that explicitly. Okay, so phi s x plus, notice there is a1 y, a1 is here, so let's keep it minus here. So it means epsilon ox y by epsilon si tox. ठीक है, ब्रैकेट में क्या रहेगा? I have taken a minus here, right? So VGS minus VFB minus phi SX into, there is one A2 y square, right? So we can put here plus epsilon OX, okay? This is y square bracket में this whole thing, okay? So what we can do is phi x comma y is equal to phi sx minus epsilon ox y by 1. I am just taking this common, okay? Epsilon ox y by epsilon si tox. तो आपके पास क्या रह जाएगा? 1 minus y divided by, this is the potential profile inside the SOI. Okay, so we have developed the model for it. Now, some things for like your understanding, that notice that if you are putting phi s of x, हमें क्या लिखना था? So that will be phi x comma 0. So if you put y equal to 0, notice in this one, if you put y equal to 0, this entire term is gone. That will be left with only phi s x. Okay. At the same time, if we are putting x tsi, so this will be tsi, all right. But this is a TSI also, no? TSI by TSI is 1. 1 minus 1 is again 0. This factor becomes 0. So this entire factor becomes 0. You are again left with the surface potential phi sx. This is basically directly the corollary of the model which we have developed. Okay. So that means this validates our uh, fundamental concept of the symmetric DG modeling. Okay. Now what we will do is, let us find out the electric field from here. Very simple. Electric field क्या होगा? We will again find out the vertical electric field model. That is phi x comma y is defined by minus del phi del y x comma y. So remember that it is del y. This is the vertical field. Now phi s x is only a function of x. So therefore del y of a y independent term will always be 0. So the first one is gone. This minus and minus, okay, will become plus epsilon ox by epsilon si tox. Bracket में y was here, y minus y square by tsi, so that becomes 1 minus 2y by tsi into this whole term, vgs minus vfb. This will be a constant because as you see, vgs and vfb are constants. Phi s is a function of x which is independent of y, so it will just be like behave like a constant here. Okay. Now notice that fy on the surface as a function of x will be equal to fy x comma 0. So if I put y is equal to 0 here, what is the case here? If you come plus epsilon ox by epsilon si tox, you have put y is equal to 0. So this term is gone, and the remaining is very simple. Okay, it's better to write like this. Huh? Now, when we are trying to find out fy of x tsi, so fy at x, y is fy as a function of x and 0. 0 means here on the top surface. Fy at x comma tsi is on the bottom surface here. So as you can see, this is tsi. So this is your 0 comma 0 point. This is your 0 comma tsi point. Okay. What is the value here? Epsilon ox by epsilon si tox. Here I am simply putting tsi. So if I am putting tsi, what is this? TSI and TSI will cancel. Here it will become 1 minus 2. That is minus will come over here. Sinus I, TOX. The rest of the term remains the same. That means the models which we have developed, hmm, they are exactly matching with our perspection, our physical understanding of the device. As we said, on the bottom surface, the electric field is upwards because this is the plus VGS, right? On the above, on the top surface, front gate, it will be downwards. Okay. Huh? So this is your electric field. Okay. So now if we want to find out the lateral field, so this is the vertical field expression. So this is the vertical field. vertical field profile. ठीक है? What is this? This is the 2D potential profile. This is not the surface potential. Potential profile. I should actually write this as not only this, but it is 2D vertical field profile. As you can see, it is having both x terms here. Here is the x term, and here is the y term. Okay, so these are the 2D vertical field profile. So now the last one will be the 2D horizontal field profile, that is the lateral field profile. So क्या करना है? Simply fx x comma y will be equal to minus del phi del x comma y will be equal to. So the first thing is that although I have put a partial differential over here because it is dependent on both x, y, but phi s is dependent only on x. So I'll simply put minus d phi s dx minus d phi s dx. Okay, minus all these terms are independent of x, right? So I'll simply put epsilon over x y by epsilon si tox 1 minus y by tsi. These are all constants, so they will also vanish. So the only thing that remains will be minus d phi s dx. That will become minus d phi s dx. So this is 1 plus epsilon x y epsilon x y by epsilon si tox. Okay, so this is your, now notice that this part is nothing but your surface field, if x is.
Sir,
Yeah,
it should be 1 minus epsilon Ox y by epsilon si dx.
1 minus, if you are taking this here, this is minus, right?
Yes, sir. I mean,
Let me just see.
in the last step only, sir.
This will only be minus. We are taking, huh, this is 1 minus this. Because you are taking this one common, right?
Yes, sir.
So notice that this is a surface field. How do you relate the surface field? The surface field is essentially connected with the charge in the uh, silicon material. Go back to the MOSFET. When we did with the MOSFET charge modeling, remember this curve which we did in our class? Huh? So in that charge modeling for the MOS capacitor, fundamentally MOS capacitor, so that was related to Fs. Okay, so this is a surface field profile. But remember, this is now 1D surface field profile because this is Fsx. Okay, so your final expression becomes Fx as a function of x comma y is equal to Fs, that is a surface field, okay, into 1 minus, Okay, so this happens to be your 2D lateral field profile. Okay, so now once we have got these electrostatics, so what is our objective here? So we know that if we want to solve the Poisson's equation or the current equation for this FinFET or the double gate MOSFET, we have to solve the Poisson's equation in a 2D manner. Okay, so what we have done now is we have figured out the potential profile and the field profiles, vertical field profile and the lateral field profile, as a function of the surface potential phi s. Hmm. So this is the surface potential. Let me write it. This is the surface potential. So as I said, I'm following the surface potential based modeling throughout this course. Okay. So our surface potential, and if you notice that once we can get the value of surface potential, then we can easily obtain the values of the potential profile and the vertical and lateral field profile simultaneously. Okay. So in the next class, what we will do is we will try to find out a model for this 2D surface potential phi s. Okay. Probably it is becoming too much for you, but um, I mean, I do not know how to make it simpler. But as I said, you will not get this analysis anywhere in the textbooks. Okay. In fact, this kind of modelings are something which we are publishing on a regular basis. The only difference we have is that instead of this DG, we can sometimes make it as a tunnel FET, we can make it as a GOT FET and things like that. But in a sense, if you are using an FDSOI device, FDSOI, so that means this TSI, okay, this TSI is lesser than the WDM. That means it is an FDSOI device. Okay, so this entire SOI region, the silicon is completely depleted. So that is how the FinFETs are made. And what we are trying to do here is we are trying to develop a model for the latest state of the art, which is the FinFETs. Okay, so it is maybe slightly difficult. So, but I think this is important. So if any one of you think that it is too much, you can tell me. I'm going to stop because this is anyway out of the syllabus. Of course, if I teach this, then I'm going to ask questions based on this in our exams. But if you say, sir, we don't want to know, then okay, your syllabus ends right there. Okay, but I'm sort of giving you a guarantee that if you can say that you know this FinFET modeling and FinFET based designs also, then no one can stop you in your interviews. So that's why I'm trying to emphasize this. So if it is okay, then in the next class, we will investigate on how to find out the surface potential. So now you can realize that once we obtain the expression for the surface potential, okay, then we can easily get the 2D potential profile. It's just compact model. Whatever is phi s value, you can put the phi s value here and here, and you will be getting the entire 2D potential profile. Then here also, if you there is phi s. Here is the phi s, okay, and here is fs. Where is this f? Sorry, this will be fs. Huh? So if this is the surface field, that is nothing other than the derivative of your phi sx. So once we get an analytical expression for analytical model for phi s, physics based model, we will get a physics based model for the fs as well immediately. It's just the derivative. Okay, then we will be getting the 2D lateral field profile as well. So what I'm trying to emphasize is the way I have done this is for the symmetric DG, which is directly applicable to FinFETs, tunnel FETs, So this is the structure which is governing. So FinFET means this is essentially the top view. So if you are looking at the FinFET like this, you are actually looking from the top view. So if you look at that, this will be your front gate. This is going to be your back gate. So this is the front gate. This is the back gate. Understood? So even though FinFET is a 3D structure, you are looking from the top. All right. Very good. That's all for today. In our next lecture, we will investigate some other important terms concerning the Poisson's equation solution using the phi s. In the next class, it will be very much interesting because over there we will see how to convert this 2D electrostatics problem into a 1D electrostatics problem based on whatever we have learned today. That will be really interesting, at least for me. Thank you for joining. So see